I ran gas to it the first time, but obviously that wasn't enough. Still saw some grit in there I didn't like. Alright. We're going to get a nickel ring on that. See, this one goes on there tight. See, it's a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe when that one dries out, it might work again, but for now, I don't want to deal with it. Okay, thank you. Push man. There's a box of crap. Alright, that's enough for now. Alright, feel on this thing. Enough. There it goes. It's still off to one side.
Right.
So I moved it a bunch, but I need to move it some more. I'm going to wear these screws out. SS does not tell you where that's supposed to be, so there's no way of knowing. Just point and shoot.
So you're trying to get a straight shot right back to the
Right down the
butterfly?
Center, right down the center of the port. That's where all the volume of fuel is, velocity is at. Got a big shot there.
So that's got an angle on it then? That
It has a slot in it.
a slot, okay.
I just hold it and do it. There, see it now?
Let's see. Perfect, nice.
Down the center. So now we have got this thing. See, before the flat was going straight ahead. See, now the titty's going straight. But the last one I did, it was over here and off to one side of this. So these aren't even made consistently the same. It's probably what they don't tell you. It's just however they cut it. Can you see a little slot right there cutting
Yes.
it? It's very,
Yeah.
very faint. That's what we're adjusting.
Okay.
Alright, so now we got that in the right location. So now this shouldn't have to come back off anymore until we find out if we're going to change the jet.
Curious as why the float was topped out so high. You had the fuel right at the top of the float bowl.
Float was real low. Your float level was about halfway on the float when I first did it. Now it's 3/4 of the way up. Now, in the low float level, what that does, it leans out the intermediate circuit. If you run a high float, it riches up intermediate circuit, so it's kind of a fine-tuning adjustment you can do.
Okay.
Kind of one of those tricks that you best to do it with jets and do it that way, but sometimes you get to an area where you don't have a jet where you get it to be right. So that's one of the little tricks you do. But you got to be careful. You don't want the carburetor to float over, and you don't want to have a high-speed lean-out condition for not having enough fuel in it. So, you have a little bit of leeway in there, but you don't want to get too carried away on doing that. Okay. Now the other adjustment we got on this is our accelerator pump cam here. This screw here.
Okay.
When you screw it in, it shuts it off, and you unscrew it, it makes it squirt more. So we'll dial that up later. Okay, I'm gonna leave that off. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off if I can get to it. Get a special bolt in there blocking me. I'll go ahead and check these O-rings on the manifold. I'm going outside.
Okay.
Go ahead and hold the carburetor.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Dump gas out. So. There it goes. Only put a little bit of fuel in there, but enough to make a mess.
So you're checking the intake manifold.
Just you can do two things. You look in here, make sure there's no O-ring hanging on the inside of the port. See it's nice and clean. You can also look in your valves, your new valves in there, and you can see there's no oil on them. Everything looks good.
Good.
There's no oil laying on the bottom of the port, which means your rings are working like they're supposed to. Okay, you just take your finger, run around the O-ring. You want to make sure you feel above the surface. Nice and even, no low spots or dimples in it. So that all looks good. And the same on this one over here. So these feel like they were new ones. So you want to make sure the O-ring goes against there, because this one has an O-ring for this side, this way. I'm looking at the threads in here. This thread up here is kind of screwed up a little bit, but it's all right. I just want to look down here,
Throttle cable.
See what's going on with this cable.
So like it's just not quite seated in there.
Yeah, but the shaft is good. It was popped out. It's just now it's in there correctly. I just want to make sure that this thing wasn't spread apart or something like that. If it was, I would fix it. See how much free play you got? It's quite a bit. You can cut that in half, which we probably will. If there's room.
You want a little bit of free play?
A little bit, but not. You don't need a 1/4 inch in there. You're getting full throttle either way, but I don't like a lot of free play in my throttle. I run quite a bit, but not that much. What are we jamming up on here? Okay, carburetor part's done for now.
So I need a bracket that comes from here and connects to the air cleaner or the carburetor?
Same thing.
Okay.
That's some point you should put one on there. Where's that vacuum plate at here? See, they got a pipe plug jammed in here. There's supposed to be a bolt head that sticks through. The bolt comes out this way.
Oh, okay.
And this is on here. You got a little 90-degree bracket. It comes out, makes a 90, goes up. There's a slight dog leg in to get out to here. And you run a knot in the washer right here. And that holds the carburetor up. Otherwise, you get all this weight hanging out here, and these O-rings are only a seal on it. Now, when you got a solid mounted clamp like this, it'll hold it pretty good. If you got the rubber band style clamps, which just got a big piece of rubber in there, the rubber will split and tear it a lot quicker when you're trying to hold this up, because the rubber is trying to do two things. It's trying to seal and hold the carburetor up. You're not supposed to do the holding part, you're supposed to do the sealing part. So that's something to be fixed a little bit later and to be done right now. Okay, now we're going to move on to our valves.
Okay.